Hi, everybody. Welcome to Back to School Night. My name is Lynn Rance, and I am head of school here at Topeka Collegiate. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to Back to School Night 2020. We are doing this video for those of you that were unable to attend our Back to School Night virtually through Zoom. We had some technical difficulties, so we were a bit late getting started. And then we had such a great turnout that we ended up not being able to have everybody join us. So we apologize for that, and we hope that this video can capture the information that we shared and help everyone feel comfortable as they return to school on Wednesday, August 19th. So first of all, I want to just remind you that at Back to School Night, we hope to cover a couple of different things with you. Your faculty members, the teachers that you'll be in breakout sessions with, will cover areas of their curriculum, their classroom traditions, areas of things related to their classroom and procedures. Well, tonight I will take the time to really focus on building wide and big picture things related to our Eagles 360 program. And regardless of who's speaking to you and what information we're giving, we want to remind you that everything falls under our mission that we hold dear to our hearts, and it's been the same mission we've had for almost 4 decades. And our mission is to prepare students for advanced education, successful careers, and responsible citizenship through a commitment to academic excellence and humanitarian ideals. We hold this mission really closely to our heart, and we attempt to make every decision that's in alignment with this mission statement. So one of the first things I want to share with all of our parents and guardians is how important it is that you are informed. We want our parents to know what to expect and not be caught off guard with updates, with expectations, timelines, activities, and that sort of thing. So there's a number of ways that you can stay informed as you go through the school year. The first I want to mention is our Collegiate Connection. Our Collegiate Connection is a bi-monthly newsletter that comes out every other week. And this is a compilation of all of the things that are going on in the school, celebrations, but it's also need-to-know information over the next couple of weeks. So when these come out to you on Friday evenings, we would ask that you take the time to review them, talk to your family about them, and keep them handy because it really is a good comprehensive view of what's going on at school. We do have a website that we feel like is a great source of information. There are a number of pages within our website, and one of them is called Family Resources. If you have not yet looked at Family Resources, I would encourage you to take the time to do that. This is where we upload a number of documents that we think are important for parents and guardians to have at their disposal. So some things include our family handbook, school supply list, summer reading assignment, the Eagles 360 program guide, the Eagles 360 addendum, as well as our Freedom with Responsibility pledge. So there's always going to be things uploaded for families, and if you ever need to have some materials, we hope that it's located there for you. If it's not located there, please let us know, and we will get it uploaded so that it's a complete place to look, so that you know what whatever you need is there for you. Also this year, we're going to take a different approach to some of our things related to Eagles 360. And this is the use of video. All of our faculty have been trained in a couple of video making platforms, and we know that we want students to have clear information of expectations of them. And so we have made and created these videos that students will see, and we would ask parents to watch them as well. So the first day of school video was one of the first ones we've done. This was embedded in an email that you should have received on Friday. And this was updates and reminders regarding the first day of school. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that, I would encourage you to go back to your email, the Collegiate Connection email from Friday, and take a look. We have also made a video for students regarding our lunch changes, and I'll talk about that here in a minute because we have a lot of changes within our lunch program. And we also have a video on masks and physical distancing. We will have a video uploaded soon today on what you need to know as our school conducts contact tracing. as it relates to COVID. And we'll also have a video regarding recess guidelines because a number of things have changed for our students in recess. And finally, if there's ever a question or ever a concern and you're not sure who to reach out to, please just give us an email. Send an email to sayhello@topekacollegiate.org, and we will make sure that you get a response and an answer. And that is always available to you. I always tell parents my door is always open, my email is always on. But if you're not sure if it's something that I should have as your head of school, feel free to send it to Say Hello, and we'll get it to the right person. So we know that the beginning of a school year is an exciting time. We know it can be an anxious time. And with the current status of our world with the pandemic, it's an increasingly intense time for a lot of families. So we understand that there's a whole host of emotions that families can be feeling right now. There's concern, there's anxiety, there's excitement, there's fear. And for the kids, they feel all of those things too. For our faculty, they feel all of those things too. So this is not a typical year. We probably have some of the same typical feelings of excitement and kind of some nerves, and we're anxious and eager, but we know it's compounded by the effects of the pandemic. So please rest assured that your faculty is aware of this. We are going to be very patient and helpful with your students. Whether your student is learning from home on the computer or in our classroom, they are all very important members of our community. And we're going to do everything we can do to help them have a successful and enjoyable year. On the first day of school, which is tomorrow, August 19th, there's a few reminders I want to share with you. First of all, we will continue with our tradition of the first day of school picture with the head of school. This has been a tradition for years and years, well before I was here. And this is something our parents treasure because every year we get our picture taken, and from year to year we see the children grow and mature and develop, and it's really a sentimental tradition. We will continue that. Please be sure to allow plenty of time within your arrival window to get the first day of school picture between the student and me, the head of school. Also remember, we have staggered start and dismissal times, and I'll review those here in a minute. On the first day of school, we don't do before care, we don't do after care, and we get out around lunchtime, so we don't serve lunch on our first day of school. When you arrive and bring your child every single day, we would ask that you pause and take a look at the certification statement that's posted outside the door. The certification statement is on a big white sign, and we've called it the Freedom with Responsibility. And the certification statement goes through a number of things that we have put in place to keep everybody healthy and safe. First thing it says is we limit non-essential visitors. And this includes all the parents through a typical day. So unless you're an essential part of that day, we would ask that you not come into the building. We ask that all folks over the age of 2 wear a mask while they're on campus. And then you'll see there are 5 questions that we would ask that you ask yourself and review with your child every day before they come into the building. The first one is, can the purpose of your visit be addressed remotely? So if you're a parent and you wanting to visit with the teacher, we would ask that you set that up and do it remotely. Have you or anyone with you traveled to an area listed in a travel-related quarantine according to the guidelines? This is from the State Department of Health and Environment. Have you or anyone with you been tested for COVID and are awaiting results? Have you or any of your acquaintances tested for positive for COVID? And have you come into contact with anyone experiencing symptoms of COVID in the past 14 days? So these 5 questions are really important because if you can answer no to all 5 of those questions, we would invite your student to come on in. But if there are any of these 5 questions that you answer yes, then we would ask that you not enter and that you call the school and we'll make arrangements. Okay, so this is our certification statement that applies to students, staff, faculty, and guests on our campus. So thank you for abiding by that and taking a look at it every morning. Also remember that we will be taking students' temperatures every morning upon arrival at the door, and we will also take everyone's temperature at lunch. So it's not just students, but staff and faculty too. We'll take their temperature twice a day. Our threshold is 100.4 degrees, as a reminder. So the arrival and departure times, I know we have shared this a number of times, so hopefully you already know, but we do have staggered start and dismissal times this year to avoid any congestion and keep folks spread out. So you'll see that our first classes start at 8 o'clock for first and third grade. Their arrival window is 7:50 to 8 o'clock. Those are the 10 minutes that those students should be entering the building, and they'll be dismissed first at 3:15. And then you can see that each grade level has a specific door that they should be using for arrival and dismissal. Parents, we ask that you do not come into the building unless your child is in pre-K, K, or first grade, and you may come in the mornings and drop them off. But at the end of the day, all students will be escorted to their designated door, and they'll be meeting you outside. So please review this with family members, extended family who may come and drop off or pick up children. It's important that they understand the doors they'll be using, and it's important to understand the time frame. If you have any questions, please let us know. So one thing that we want to go over with you as a group is talk about lunch. As we know, lunch is one of the favorite times of the day for our kids, and we have made a number of changes. First of all, we have divided our tables in the lunchroom into 4 parts. So each table usually sits 8 people. It will be at it'll be a 4-seater, 50% capacity. And each table now has polycarbonate dividers and quadrants. So students will be separated by a divider as they eat with their friends. Some of the biggest changes of lunch include when your child comes to school, first thing in the morning, they will need to select what their lunch plan is for the day. They can select our hot lunch, a pre-plated salad with meat. They can have a sandwich, or they may bring their lunch from home. It's very important that students know what they're going to get first thing in the morning, and this is all students pre-K through 8th grade. This also includes seconds, additional milk, and snacks. Students will only be allowed to go in through the lunch line one time. In the past, for older kids, they could sit down, eat, and then go back and get something else. We're not going to be able to do that anymore. They need to know in the morning what they're getting, including snacks, and then as they go through the lunch line, it will be more efficient and there will not be any congestion. We also want to remind you that this year we're not going to be able to have any deliveries of food items, and we're not going to be able to accommodate guests for lunch. And we know this is disappointing. I know when it's a birthday, it's a special celebration, or even a special guest is in town. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to accommodate those guests for lunch. Please continue those celebrations outside of the school day. So more than ever, it's important that we have enough volunteers to help us serve lunch. We have hired 2 additional building aides that will be on staff to help us at lunch, but we will always need parent, grandparent volunteers. Please continue to look in the Collegiate Connection for the instructions to sign up for volunteers in the lunchroom. This year, we have a number of protocols in place. I want to go over them with you, specifically related to COVID-19. So first of all, we want you to know that we have designated a room that is called our wellness room. And this would be a space for staff or students to go if they're showing signs of COVID, 2 or more signs that are typical of COVID. It's a large classroom space. They will be spread out, and we'll have a maximum of no more than 5 people in the room at once, but it's a large amount of space. So what is our policy or protocol if we suspect a COVID case here on campus? So I want to share those steps with you today. First, if someone is showing signs of COVID, that person would immediately be isolated and relocated to the wellness room. They would be removed from school as soon as possible using our safety protocols. We would then refer that individual for testing and recommend that they consult their primary care provider. Finally, those individuals would be isolated, and this would last until COVID could be ruled out through a negative laboratory test. So the plan for if there are showing signs, which is at least 2 symptoms, those would be the 3 steps that we would go through as a staff to take care and help care for that child or that adult. So what happens if there is a positive case in our school community? And there's really 6 steps that our school will go through. First of all, our POC, or point of contact, is our nurse, Alicia Arnold. She would be notified by the Shawnee County Health Department that we have a positive COVID case within our school community. Obviously, that person would be isolated in their home and would not be able to attend school until they were released from Shawnee County Health Departments pending their guidelines. All of the close contacts would then be notified and subject to the Shawnee County Health Department's instructions and quarantine. So that is something that's very important to us. We are very clear in the close contact and what contact tracing would need to take place. We sent 2 of our staff members through training through Johns Hopkins this summer. And so we have 2 folks that can follow contact tracing as it's been trained. Fourth on this list is all staff and families would receive a school-wide email notification if a positive case was within our school community. All of our affected spaces would be sanitized. Now, depending on the location and where this person had been, this could result in a short-term school closure to make sure that everything gets clean and sanitized appropriately according to the CDC's guidelines. And finally, just to remember that we are partnering with the Shawnee County Health Department. We follow their timelines, their communications, and their guidance. Personally, I meet with the Shawnee County Health Department once a week. Our nurse, Alicia Arnold, meets with the Shawnee County Health Department once a week. This has been going on for weeks, and it will continue. So rest assured that we are following their guidance, which is a direct guidance from the state and the CDC. So another question that I've been asked frequently from parents is, what will determine if we're going to be on campus or if everyone's learning from home or if we go into a hybrid learning model? So I wanted to share with you the 3 things that we will be looking at. The first one is a scorecard given to us by the Shawnee County Health Department. This scorecard looks at a wide range of metrics. It's the same metrics they'll look at every week. It's things such as hospital capacity, transmission rate, how many cases we do not know the source of where they got it, a large number of metrics that they put into a matrix of sorts. So that scorecard will be a major piece of information that we will use to make these decisions. The scorecard comes out every other week from the Shawnee County Health Department. The second thing we would look at is our own schools, numbers of cases, and the distribution of those cases. So if we have 1 student or 2 students or a number of students that test positive in a certain class, those are the types of things we will be monitoring and taking a very close look at all the time. Finally, we will look at just true absenteeism of students and staff here at school. So those 3 pieces of information, a lot of data, will go into making our determination of whether we can be all on campus with opt-out, all of us on distance learning, or a hybrid model of instruction. So I want to go back and remind you of how important it is that we keep open lines of communication. We know it's vital for you to feel connected and be informed. Your teachers will be communicating with you. We have provided videos for you. We have handouts for you. Please be a well-informed consumer of this education that you have joined us with. It's very important. When we talk about communication, it's really important that we all agree that we will follow a 24-hour rule. And what we mean by this is if you email your head of school or you email a teacher, please allow 24 hours before you expect a result, within 24 hours. Same is true if I email you, I would give you 24 hours to respond. We need to be thoughtful and conscientious that everybody is busy. And we want to respond to you and give you the information you need, but we need to allow ample time for those responses to occur. And third, just remind you as we move through the year, keep your open lines of communication with your child's teachers. They will work with your students. They will inform you. We have lots of communication platforms that we'll be using, including fax and Google Classroom, as well as lower school newsletters every Friday and middle school newsletters every other Friday. So this sums up some of the overviews that I wanted to share with you. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you for joining us. The faculty and staff are so excited to have your kids back on Wednesday. So whether your students are learning on land, on campus, or on land at home, they are still an Eagle. And we are so excited to start teaching and learning for the 2020-2021 school year. Have a great day.